This is Chris from Deus Ex Machina, and we're talking about Naramata, a game of wine and tourism. In this series of videos, we'll be going over the gameplay of Naramata, but instead of filming these in the basement, we decided to come out to the wineries within the Naramata region itself. For this entry, we find ourselves at Deep Roots, and I'm here with Will and Paul. Hey! And we're here to talk about a player's turn. Before we proceed, as a disclaimer, everything you are seeing here is part of a game prototype and does not fully represent the final game. Determining player order will change throughout the day. After each player has made their first move, play proceeds to the player earliest in time. As we'll soon see, each location/action possesses a time cost that must be spent, advancing a player's time meeple along the time tracker. After a player completes an action on a space, the player spends the time cost associated with that action by moving the matching character meeple by that same cost. Place the time meeple at the new time as far left as possible on the table to the right of any meeples already there. After the player finishes the turn, the player earliest in time, which is the player highest on the tracker, goes next. The next player on the earliest time may be the previous player, in which case that player has another turn. If two or more players are at the same time, then the player who arrived at the time first is the next to have a turn, followed by the next player and so on. This is indicated by the positioning of the meeples, with earlier meeples being placed further left. This process continues until each player reaches 5 p.m. A player's turn involves 5 steps that must be performed in order. This does not include the spending of prestige or action discs, which are considered free actions and can be spent at any time during a player's turn. Step 1, select any space ahead of your vehicle meeple on the board. A space is defined as any action attached to a winery, not the winery itself. Most wineries will offer 2 spaces, others will offer 3. A winery location includes all spaces attached to it. A vehicle cannot move backward and must always follow the route ahead of it. It cannot shift to a parallel road. When committing to a path, it cannot be changed. When selecting a space, you must obey the following rules. The space must not be covered by a lock token. The winery, meaning any spot at a location, must not be occupied by another player's vehicle token. It must be at a new winery ahead of the previous one. It cannot be the same winery.
Step 2. If the location is a cheese, tasting, pairing, purchase, or view action, place the matching lock token on that space. Do not place a token on favor spaces. Then place your vehicle meeple atop it.
Step 3. Activate the action associated with the space your vehicle has been placed on, or have what is known as a pit stop. Step 4.
Each action costs time. The player advances their time meeple by the cost associated with the action. Cheese, pit stop, purchase, and view actions each cost 30 minutes. Favor and tastings cost 1 hour, and a pairing costs 2 hours. If this takes you past 5 p.m., you suffer a time penalty.
Step 5. After finishing your action, play proceeds to the next player that is earliest along the time tracker. As stated, this could be the same as the previous player. And that is how you play a turn in Naramata. This is Chris from Deus Ex Machina, and we're talking about Naramata. That was
That's funny. That was the first time you pronounced Naramata right.